Ah.
Hello.
Ah.
Hey there. How goes it? I haven't seen you in 5 minutes.
Too long.
Too long it has been. Oh, I just realized I'll have to cut the music soon. Oh God, where is it? I wish there was like a fade out option for YouTube. Oh, my roommate is steaming pork buns right now.
How dare, without sharing with me.
Sorry, Renu.
Ah.
Okay, let me just do this. I had to move my entire stream setup to OBS instead of Streamlabs.
Yes, I need to do that as well.
Yes. I have some stuff for you if you want to like move scenes and stuff. But actually, the transition was smoother than I thought it would be. It just took some time. Was all. And now the stream is back and better than ever.
Pew, beep, 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 pew.
Although I did just remember that I will need to link the stream manually. So, like a pleb. But it's okay. Now I can do fun, you know, fun stream tweets with memes attached to them. Where are my soup memes? Bring me soup!
Bring some memes.
right, we're all Gucci. We're all Gucci. Are you ready?
Ready. New case.
New case.
London.
The Adventure of the Runaway Room.
Glancing over my records of the late last century, I am faced by the events of a certain bitter winter. A murder in a carriage as it sped through dense London fog in the dead of night. Though the victim and the perpetrator were the only ones inside, there were multiple witnesses to the crime itself. However, none could have imagined at the time that such a seemingly obvious case as this would end in such a horrendous manner. My friend, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, once said of the incident.
Every
I
time.
believe that perhaps that case was indeed the prelude. The beginning of a long concerto that impressive Japanese student and I were to play together.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, more anime.
Anime.
Oh,
Hey, girl.
Look at you. You got your cloak and everything.
Amazing. Is this really just a railway station?
Railway station or not, I've never seen such an enormous building before.
And look at all the steam locomotives. This country is incredible.
I feel like I'm dreaming.
So this is the capital of Great Britain.
So, where to?
Where to?
Hello.
Climb aboard. I'll take you wherever you want to go.
In that case, the Supreme Court in Whitehall, if you wouldn't mind.
My pleasure. I suppose you're visiting students from abroad, eh?
Yes.
Thought so. Well then, I hope you enjoy your stay. And
Man, I know.
welcome to the centre of the world, Great Britain's mighty capital, London.
London.
I know that historically it makes sense that they have British accents, but it throws me off every single time.
It throws me off too, but I also kind of wanted them to keep like the Japanese dub during the parts when they're talking to each other, you know?
Oh, true.
Like I kind of don't feel like they would be speaking to each other in English. But then when they're talking, you know, to other characters in London, then they would speak the British English.
That's actually a good point. Why are they speaking to each other in English?
For the dub.
18th February, 9:21 a.m. It would have been such a fucking, like, ballsy move to keep the Japanese dub there.
But it would be so authentic, right?
Like, it would be good. It would actually be, like, legit amazing if they did.
Yeah.
British Supreme Court. Lord Chief Justice's office. Renu is significantly louder than me. Okay, I'll fix. Okay. Okay, how about now?
Ah.
Oh, you're probably still louder, actually. Hang on. I probably have your personal volume set really high.
Ah.
That seems a little better.
Ah.
I'll just turn my gain up a little. Okay, how about now?
How about
Great
it?
Britain, British Supreme Court. Ooh, this pork bun is so hot. Ow, 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 ow. Ouchie.
I think it's a bit better. You gotta bump me down, bro.
I'll bump you down even more.
Bump it down.
Bump it louder. Here, I'll turn myself up too, because I don't want to make it so quiet that it's like impossible to hear the or I'm always worried about making the stream like too quiet, because if I make it too quiet, then then it's hard to balance against everything else. So like the total volume is like, if it's too quiet, like I don't want it, you have to turn your entire system's volume up, you know? Okay, you heard me get louder there. I think this is about good. But yes, I 100% think they should have just kept it. It would have actually, I think in a way, I think it would have made the English version of the game better than the Japanese version in a weird way. Anyway. What an incredible place.
It's so imposing. It's almost suffocating.
That's England. This place is breathtaking. It looks like a fortress. I don't remember the historical part of London where they had this going on, but are we inside Big Ben?
I think so.
Is that where the Supreme Court is? I don't think that's accurate.
That's definitely a clock face over there. There are some stone buildings like this in Japan now, of course. But they've only been built in the few short decades since we opened our borders to the outside world.
Oh, by the way, the new emote should be live, so you can also use this.
Ah!
Oh ho ho. Oh, that actually reminds me. One sec. One second. Okay, I've transplanted the chat over, so now we've got context.
Yay!
Yeah.
An authentic example like this has quite a different impact, wouldn't you agree?
Also, I hope you're not offended if we don't do the British accents, because I really don't want to.
I don't think we would do them service.
I don't think we would either. I can
Not
only
that,
do,
like, our
I
other...
can only do menacing British.
A far cry from the wood and paper most of our buildings are constructed from.
What year is it again? We're like at the beginning of like, are we like we're around the Meiji Restoration. Okay, no one tell them about the firebombing.
Come on, mind your accents are the canonical ones. That's why the British ones threw me off.
You know what? Yep, fair enough. It's certainly unfamiliar. But I think there's more to the differences than just construction materials. Yeah.
Yeah. Zooms in on the giant gears.
How astute you are, Ryunosuke. What is this place again?
This is the Lord Chief Justice's office, Naruhodo-san, in the Supreme Court of Great Britain.
The Lord Chief Justice lives inside of Big Ben. The Lord Chief Justice.
I just imagine Von Karma, the senior. We had restrictions to report here at this time, if circumstances were different. We're supposed to let the Lord Chief Justice know that we had arrived from Japan. Oh!
Takashi Hongo is a cyborg, Kamen Rider. He was remodeled by Shocker, an evil organization bent on ruling the world. Kamen Rider stands against them for the sake of all humanity.
Oh.
Sounds like a cool guy.
Kiryu would be a fan.
Kiryu absolutely is a fan of Kamen Rider. This is canon. I believe it to be true. Also, we're hydrating. See that Gwen got me a new water bottle, so now I can hydrate properly?
Wow, that's so nice.
I can, like, drink water now. It's real.
How about that? In all your years of existence.
But bro.
Our bro. No. So instead, we are here in a different capacity.
What?
As envoys to report the news of Kazuma-sama's death.
Yes.
And having delivered his or her message, an envoy's duty is done.
So, we have to return to Japan.
If we want to remain here in Great Britain,
I have to take Kazuma's place as the law student selected for the study tour. What a loophole.
yes, which means you need the requisite qualifications as a lawyer.
Yes, it's a pork bun delay.
Hum, nom, nom, nom.
Listen, you have to eat a pork bun when it's warm.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Delicious. Which is what I've been studying for.
Here in Great Britain, it is the Lord Chief Justice who appoints lawyers. So that's the second reason why we're here, to have you officially recognized as a lawyer. It's the only way we'll be able to remain here in London.
I hope I'm up to scratch. Good morning. Sorry for keeping you.
Hi!
Oh. What? He did it. He's the murderer. I've never seen a more guilty looking man. What do I...
I don't even know how to, like, describe him. He's just him.
Do you want him?
He demands a British accent!
How good are you at a British accent?
Give him the aggressive British accent.
Oh, but Okay. I'll give him soft but stern.
Okay.
I trust you aren't too exhausted after your long voyage from Japan. It seems I'm 1 hour 12 minutes and 47 seconds late. My apologies.
Okay, this guy is like British Von Karma, definitely.
Oh no. Oh, Renu, you're in for it. You haven't met British Von Karma yet. Don't mention it. We're never happier than when we're standing around with nothing much to do.
Oh, hang on.
How fortunate. So, introductions. I am Male Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of the British Empire.
You certainly are.
Ugh, I feel like a little mouse under an elephant's foot.
Yes.
Come on, Mr. Naruhodo. Don't be a mouse.
Come on, Mr. Naruhodo. Don't be a mouse. Oh, it's an honor to meet you, Lord Chief Justice Strongheart. I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo from the Empire of Japan. You know, we got something in common from being from empires and all.
This man looks like he could be a part of the Armstrong family.
He does. Well, Mr. Naruhodo. Welcome to London, the capital of our glorious British Empire.
He has a cane and then the bird flew.
Yes. Thank you.
Hey, man.
Right then.
Just look right into our souls.
So, what are your impressions of our capital so far? How do you like London? Help. I've been so nervous ever since I got here that I can't remember a single thing about the city.
It's simply splendid, isn't it, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh?
We had a wonderful view of some of London's streets from the carriage on the way here from the station. Everything is so impressive and grand! I must say, I am almost lost for words.
I'm glad to hear you like it. The city boasts tramways, piped water and gas, even cables supplying electricity. We spearhead every revolutionary new technology in the world. Every visitor to London is astounded.
Oh, yes. Astounded is the word.
Oh, thanks for saving me there, Suzette-san.
And everyone seems so jolly and full of vigor.
Are you sure you're describing London?
Is that London?
Yes. There's much excitement about the upcoming great exhibition we will be hosting here in London. Great exhibition?
Oh,
Cultural and technological achievements from around the globe are to be exhibited here in our great city. It will be the greatest spectacle of its kind in history, and will make Paris's World Fair look like a toy shop. The damn French!
Gosh, I can hardly imagine how magnificent it's going to be.
Great Britain's capital city is nothing but magnificent. London is the center of the modern world. I am the picture of the modern Major General. Even if you do say so yourself. The sun will never set on our great empire. Where have I heard that before?
wow.
Perhaps it is fate that in these progressive times, we welcome visitors from the land of the rising sun. Lord Chief Justice? I think you were expecting a student of law for this study tour, weren't you? Absolutely. A Mr. Kazuma Asogi, if my memory serves. That's right. The British government has already been telegraphed a full report on the situation. I understand the young man lost his life aboard the steamship bound for our shores. That's amazing. The news reached him before we even arrived. My country naturally extends its deepest condolences to yours. Oh, thank you. And you honored this appointment specifically to inform me of the news?
Yes. We are here in the capacity of envoys from Japan to report the sad news in person.
They tell me you Japanese are a people of protocol and courtesy, and I see that it's true. And it is with some regret that I must inform you that the death of the young lawyer means this study tour arrangement can no longer proceed.
If you would just hear us out, Lord Strongheart.
What do you have to say, madame?
It's about the study tour. Mr. Naruhodo here would like to make a proposal.
Would he now? Well, Mr. Naruhodo. This is it then, the moment of truth. The thing is, Lord Justice, Lord Strongheart, I was wondering if perhaps you would consider allowing the study tour to go ahead? Don't misunderstand me. Britain would ideally like to see the tour go ahead. But without a lawyer from your country, there's nothing to be done. Well, in that case, what if there was someone else? Another lawyer from Japan, I mean. Is there something I don't know?
He looks like he's gonna beat you with that.
Only a single lawyer was invited to Great Britain from your country, and that was Mr. Asagi. At least, that is what I've been led to understand. Well, the thing is... Oh, this really isn't going well at all. I just can't seem to find the right words to say to this man.
Mr. Naruhodo.
I could ruin things here if I'm not careful. What am I gonna say? If there is someone else here from Japan who could be described as a lawyer, it's... Miss Susato!
Yeah, I'm something of a lawyer myself.
It's me. I can do it. Is that so? I mean, I don't actually have any qualifications as such, but
why?
don't tell him that!
Why?
He doesn't have to know that! No qualifications, you say, and yet you still claim to be a lawyer? I have acted as a lawyer in court before. Only once, as it happens. And
For my own
I had
trial.
Carson to help me. And I was the accused.
There you go. There you go.
But glossing over the details, I've been spending every spare moment on the journey here to Great Britain studying. I've learned all about British law and court proceedings while I was on board the SS Buria. The voyage from Japan is some 50 days, I believe. Not what you might call a full education. To become a qualified lawyer here in Britain, not only do you need a university degree in law, you must also complete several years of training. I realize it's far too short a period of time, but I can't just go back to Japan. Kazuma, Mr. Asuki's journey had only just begun. Coming here on this study tour was all he thought about. I have to carry on and do everything he planned to do. I know it must sound like I have an overly inflated opinion of myself, but I would do anything to prove that I have what it takes. Any test you care to set me? Just one chance. That's all I'm asking for. Please. 31 seconds. Sorry? Your opening statement there, Mr. Naruhodo. It was 31 seconds long. Not too brief, not too protracted. A perfectly judged appeal, I would say.
Wow.
Which is a skill that would stand you in good stead as a lawyer. Oh, thanks. So, you're willing to put those words to trial, are you? Well, I'm all for entertainment. Huh? But let me ask you one thing first, sir. Yes? You say you intend to do everything Mr. Asagi planned to do. Are you firmly set on that path? Well,
What do you know?
Yes, that's my intention. I see. Am I imagining things? Or did his expression just alter a fraction there all of a sudden? Very well. You have your wish. I'll give you a chance. A test to become a specially certified lawyer.
Wow.
Whether you pass or fail is entirely down to you. Really?
Wee
Wee wee? So, what form will the test take exactly? Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, what do you consider the role of a lawyer to be? Well, defending people, of course. Well said. So, let's have you defend someone.
Oh.
Huh? Your timing is perfect, in fact. There's an opt trial about to begin later today.
Today?
No! Who the fuck Knuckles, this vampire-looking man? This is only one of several vampire-looking men we will encounter in the British Empire. No advocate has been appointed for the defense as yet, so this will be welcome news.
Today? But it's today!
Today?
Straight away.
If you manage to secure a verdict of not guilty, you'll have passed my test. What could be simpler? Ugh, how do I get myself into these situations?
You volunteered for it, ma'am.
Well, could I ask, what sort of trial is it, Lord Strongheart?
Yes, good question. I remember. It's a murder trial.
Always.
Always.
A murder?
An extremely simple case, I understand. You really can't lose.
Don't, how dare you?
That's easy to say. But I should mention, just in case, if the defendant is found guilty, he will, of course, be sentenced to capital punishment. Capital punishment? He'll be put to death? Don't you forget, Mr. Naruhodo, we still have the Tower of London intact. Here in Great Britain, murderers are sent to the gallows without exception. Presumably you read that much in your short C-based introduction to British law?
We can't possibly agree to such a test. We would be toying with a man's life.
I am the Lord Chief Justice, and I've decided that it's acceptable. But you can't do that! Can you? Can he do that?
Can you do that?
There's no need to overcomplicate this. All you have to do is ensure that you don't lose. So the defendant may live or die depending on how well I perform in court? Chav vampire gangs just roaming the streets. That is exactly what London is. I believe it to be true. If I lose, he'll be hanged. Mr. Naruhodo, you've come to me claiming to be a lawyer. If you want me to take you seriously, you need to prove you're willing to do a lawyer's job. And you say you intend to see through the will of your compatriot, Mr. Asaki. I would like to understand just how far you're willing to go in order to make that happen. He's testing my resolve. What's the matter? You've fallen silent. I'm sorry, but time is pressing. The trial begins shortly. I need an answer from you now. What's it to be? What do I say? Do I agree to this absurd test? Of course we do. All right then. If I had to give you a decision now, my answer is, I can't do it. I can't get the words out. 15 seconds. The decision making needs work if you want to be a lawyer. It was too slow. So, it's as I suspected, is it? Sorry? You have noble intentions, but lack the resolve to see them through. The test is cancelled. Thank you for stopping by. Go and acquire your ticket for passage back to the east tomorrow. This conversation is over. Yes, Lord Strongheart. Thank you for offering me a chance.
Mr. Naruto.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Sato, but what could I do?
It's all right. I understand.
That's the end of the game. You just wee. Credits roll. We just start the second one. You do?
It's not an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. But resolve has absolutely nothing to do with it.
What are you trying to say, madame? I think what Miss Susato means is that no matter how badly I'd like to be recognized as a lawyer and stay here in Great Britain, to risk another man's life by treating his one and only chance at a trial so trivially would be utterly unforgivable. And I feel exactly the same way. I'm sure the defendant won't see this trial as a test, as some kind of experiment. A lawyer may fight for his clients in court day after day, but for each one of those clients, the particular day they stand in the dock may be the only chance they have to fight to prove their innocence. No, I was wrong. I'm not qualified to do that job yet. I'm sorry for wasting your precious time, Lord Chief Justice.
Well said, Ryunosuke.
Well said, Ryunosuke. Wait, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, was there something else? It's approximately 20 minutes by carriage to the Old Bailey from here. If you leave immediately, you should still be there in time. But I just said that... I was quite serious in what I told you. The defendant in this case has literally no one to advocate for him. What? At this point, he can't hope to find someone to represent him. The trial will begin without a defense. And if that happens, there's only one possible outcome. He will receive the most severe sentence that judge can pass down. But that's awful. But that is the truth.
Why does it have to be like this?
Please don't expect an answer to every question. The cold hard truth of the matter is that there is only one person now with a chance to save this man from a very miserable end. And that is you. I'm really his only hope? So, what do you say now, Madame?
Me? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart?
You said it wasn't an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances, and I agree. But in my estimation, it is purely and simply a matter of resolve.
Oh.
Our time is up here. I have a meeting to attend. I must leave in 2 minutes and 16 seconds. So, venture into our great city and enjoy yourselves.
A man's life is depending on you. He's gone.
He just left. The Old Bailey.
If we're going to do this, Mr. Naruhodo, we must leave at once.
You betcha. February, 9:45 a.m. The Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. Is that Von Karma's ancestor or something?
See, Magpie thinks so too. Hello, Magpie.
He does have the Von
thank
Karma-esque air to him, for sure.
We're in time. There's still 15 minutes until the trial begins.
Wow, that's more than we usually get.
Huh.
I never knew a horse-drawn carriage could go so fast. I thought my teeth were gonna rattle loose.
Did you hear what I said to the driver when we climbed aboard? Get us to our destination in 5 minutes, driver, and there's a guinea in it for you. It's one of my favorite lines from the Herlock Sholmes stories, and it worked quite
Did you pay the man?
I know. Did you give him the guinea?
I'm not sure why you're so pleased. I thought we were gonna die. And we had to pay gold for the privilege. Okay, we did pay.
Well, at least we arrived here before the trial started.
Oh, Susato. Yes, I suppose there's that.
Von Karma infestation.
Anyway, I don't understand it.
It's a very funny way of putting it, but you're right.
The court clerk said the defendant should be here,
Oh, I can't wait.
but there's no sign of him at all.
I hope it just launches us into the trial. I've waited so long for a trial.
Doko desu ka?
So this is the Old Bailey. Even this room for defendants to wait in is grand.
Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo?
I'm feeling tense, that's all. This place gives me the same sense of foreboding that I remember from the Supreme Court in Japan. An oppressive air, almost as if the building itself is going to crush whoever's about to be sentenced. It feels like only yesterday that I was the one about to be crushed.
Yes, whoever the man you're going to defend is, I imagine he's feeling very alone at this moment.
Top of the morning to you, madame, sir. Oh my god! What?
Oh, he sounds Irish. What are yous doing? Follow me. Things
What are
wait,
you
no,
doing following me here? Things are fair desperate, are they?
You're so good.
Sorry? Would you look at those expressionless faces? From the East, are yous? I can't tell if he's supposed to be Scottish or Irish.
I don't know.
We're from Japan. Yes. Japan, is it? Right, say no more. So, how much do you need?
Oh?
I think it's supposed to be Irish. No, we're just here because...
You think it's Cockney? Oh, it could be Cockney.
Oh, you might be right. No need to explain, fella. I've been there myself, so I have.
Okay.
No place to go. Oh god, it's like merging with Majima accent. No place to go, nothing to eat, barely a penny to your name, and all while in a strange, faraway land.
I was enjoying the Irish too. These are both good.
Actually, we haven't found a place to stay yet. No.
God,
We gotta know what this guy's name is. Tis grand. Tis grand. Let me start by giving yous 1,000 guineas. Say nothing now. Huh?
1,000 guineas?
Please, Miss Susato, you don't have to shout. Cockney Majima.
It's enough to build an entire mansion in the most prestigious area of Tokyo.
What? There's nothing to me at all. I like to ensure I have sufficient funds to weather a rainy day, you see. It really is one to get a Majima. Let's see. It's like the Victorian orphan accent. It's like, hello, Gov. Hello, Governor. But I've enough wealth to buy the city of London 2 or 3 times over. Could that much rain even fall in one day? Well, even so, we couldn't possibly accept such a large sum of money. Ow! That hit me in the eye!
His money! Oh my god!
Don't get me wrong, fella. I'm not giving it to you no strings attached. I'll be wanting you to do something for me. Oh, to be honest, it's a little embarrassing. The trial that's about to begin, see? For me good self here. I'll be in the dock.
Oh.
So now, what I want you to do... Wait, I'm going slow. This is a hard accent.
Yeah, it is.
Just come along with me and stand there beside me. Officially, you'd be my lawyer, but... Hold on, I'm calibrating. Cockney accent.
You're right.
Cockney.
Think of Little Orphan.
Please, sir, may I have some more? It's bad. It's getting worse. I'm losing sight of what this accent is supposed to be. This is hard.
I know.
Officially, you'd be my lawyer, but that's just a little detail now. Well, the thing is, don't worry about a thing. All you gotta do is stand up there next to me, nothing more. Otherwise, you see, the trial is gonna start without me having any kind of representation at all. So it was true. The Lord Chief Justice wasn't just making it all up. I mean, would you defend this man? He looks suspect as hell.
He reminds me of like the the merchant class from Bravely Default, the one where you can attack with money.
Yes. I know what you mean, yeah. He looks like he's a part of the Despicable Me universe.
It's Gru.
This is Gru's like great grandpa. Great grandpappy.
But
Does that mean you're the defendant in this trial?
Oh. Bluster and blazes. Do yous? Do yous not know who I am? Me? One of London's biggest names? No, sorry. We've only just arrived in the city, you see. I see. I suppose it isn't altogether impossible.
no.
Yeah, just next to Hyde Park there in the center of London is another beautiful park. We're going Australian now. Sorry, a park? What? I mean, to be fair, I think Australian accents kind of branch off of the Cockney, you know?
Oh.
Tis called me Gilded Park, full of blossoming flowers in the spring and singing birds and whatnot. This guy's accent is never gonna come together. This is so much easier when this was like Scottish or Irish.
You can do Scottish Irish, it's fine. See, Sean also morphed into Irish. I think Irish is the way to go.
Donated to the city, so I did. Okay, that's a very Cockney line.
There you go.
An entire park in central London?
A city of smiles. That's my vision for London. Not Magnus McGilded wouldn't do for the city and its queer old people. That's amazing. I mean, really extraordinary. But now they got the gall to say I'm a good-for-nothing criminal. Me, Magnus McGilded. You know what? He reminds me of Red White from the first game.
Uh-huh. He even got the rings.
He's like 90% hat.
Yeah. His name is Jekyll McGilded.
What's the matter with the London police, I ask ya? Alright, don't pass out.
Mr. Naruhodo. Perhaps now would be a good time to introduce ourselves.
Oh, introduce ourselves.
Over
Oh,
selves.
the gentleman catches his breath.
Listen, we're not from this country. We don't speak this language natively.
Okay.
Good idea. His name is Magnus McGilded. Mr. McGilded, the thing is, we're actually here in London to study British law. We're law students on a study tour from Japan, you see. So if you don't have a lawyer for the trial yet, and you'd be happy to put yourself in our hands, we'll do our best. What was I after saying, you daft Egypt? Giving you a... Isn't Egypt like a Scottish thing to say? I feel like Magnus is a really Scottish name.
Hang on, I'll look it up while you voice.
Okay. Oh, I've given you 1,000 guineas to stand up there next to me, haven't I? Well, yes, but I wasn't really offering to just stand up there next to you.
Egypt is Irish.
Egypt is Irish? He does look like he's supposed to be like kind of like a leprechaun. Let's be real. Yous doesn't seem that Scott. Yous seems very Majima. Seems very like Brooklyn. Oh, I think I see what's going on here. Sorry? I know what you're thinking. This chancer of a fella claims to have more money than the queen. If that's true, well, the Blaze is gonna hire the finest lawyer.
He's Irish.
He's Irish?
He's Irish because it's Mick. Yeah. It says
McGilded.
Yeah, because he's McGilded.
You're right.
He's Irish.
You
and
did
in the
it.
Version, he's Irish.
But
we
if
were
that's
there.
But if that's true, why the Blazes can't he hire the finest lawyer in all of England? Because he did it. That's the only explanation. Well, not at all. Although it is a little strange, to be honest. Why you don't have a lawyer, I mean. That would be the fault of the Reaper. Sorry, did he just say Reaper? The Grim Reaper of the Bailey, Lord Barack Van Zeeks. He's the prosecutor.
Huh? Oh, is this the locker? Oh, man.
The prosecutor is the Grim Reaper.
When Van Zeek stands for the prosecution, they call his accused his sacrificial lambs. And to this day, in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. What? So it's reached a desperate situation. There's no one willing to stand in defense against the fella at all. I could say he's a living legend of the Old Bailey.
Goodness. Lord Barack Van Zeeks. He must be an exceptionally talented prosecutor then.
Talented isn't the word you're looking for, madam. It's cursed. Cursed? What on earth? The defendant is summoned, and his counsel. Please make your way into the courtroom. The trial is about to begin. His counsel? Oh god, that's me. Oh, it is time. Well then, fella, don't let me down. But I don't know anything about the case. You haven't told me what happened!
We just been gabbing.
Until you showed your face here. I'd made up me mind, so I had. Sorry? I decided I'd have to defend myself in there.
His face.
How would that have worked? But then you made an appearance. A student of law, wouldn't you know? Yep, that's it. He's Irish. 'Tis no accident. I can assure you that. 'Tis fate. Don't get cold feet now, please. He looks like 8 times older when he's doing this. He looks like a grandma.
I know, right?
I literally know nothing about the case or about this man who stands accused.
Correct.
In fact, the only thing I do know is that I can't just turn my back on him. Oh. I wish I knew other things.
Mr. Nard. Oh.
The man has no one. He'll have to stand alone in that courtroom, armed with nothing to defend himself. Yes, something that Kazuma would never have allowed to happen. Counsel for the defense, what are you doing? If you're
Gavin.
late for the start of the trial, you will lose your right to stand. I'll be right there.
We head right into the trial.
It's happening, then. My first trial in a British court.
Yeah.
I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. Because I have no idea how I'm going to manage this!
I hope we just see Herlock like on the roof or something, like or the ceiling, you know, just hanging out like he do.
Yeah, that would be so good. Just like, sorry, is that a man? Oh my god, is that Herlock Sholmes? 18th February, 10 a.m., the Old Bailey courtroom.
Whoa!
Oh, look at our sword. So
There's a lot to see right now.
This is the highest court in Great Britain, the Old Bailey. The centuries of history in this place is palpable, isn't it? It's so different to the Supreme Court in Japan. Okay, but you also come from one of the places with like the longest uninterrupted histories like in the world.
It feels both imposing and serene at the same time. The atmosphere almost makes words redundant. Whatever the country, determining a person's guilt or innocence is always a solemn affair. May I say something, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh, yes, what?
Your eyes look ready to pop out of your head again.
I know, but I just can't help it. Oh, it's Santa!
Santa!
That is all you, Renu!
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are here today to determine the guilt or innocence of Mr. Magnus McGilded. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
How holy and how jolly are you feeling?
The prosecution is fully prepared.
Brother! That is a vampire!
Somehow I knew he would be a vampire.
That must be the Reaper of the Bailey. He really does fully prepared to dispatch his next poor victim to the underworld. I just want to linger. I want to linger for a second on this man.
We're fighting a vampire in court.
Okay, all right, I'm ready.
Counsel for the defense, you appear to be Eastern. Do you speak English?
Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. But he asked if the defense was ready. I am not ready. I couldn't be further from ready if I tried. Those eyes please me. Nipponese.
Nipponese!
Fuck off! I've been making this joke the whole game, and this man shows up and does it?
He just says it!
There is nothing. There's nothing we can do that this game will not just one-up us about.
I mean, he's vampire edgy, you know, like got the little crap thing and then the, you know.
This sequence has been so much, I'm tired. I'm already tired.
At your worth, yes, thank you.
They shroud your fear, your doubt, your trepidation. They run wild, clinging to some phantom notion of courage. The quintessential look of a sacrificial lamb. Ugh! A cold shiver just ran down my spine, all the way to the tips of my toes. Jesus Christ!
Things are gonna pop out soon.
Yeah, this is edgiest worth. This is like Edgeworth's like final evolution.
Now, Mr. McGilded.
Yes, my lord.
You stand accused of murder, a capital offense. You could be sent to the gallows if found guilty. Are you quite sure you wish to entrust your defense to this foreigner?
The answer to why is everyone so racist is England. As I've always said, my lord, it's a grand thing to give opportunities to the young. Even if the fella is a student from some little island off in the Far East. Yet not the British way to ignore the dangers to yourself and give those less fortunate a fair chance. I'd like to think that acts of chivalry do the great British Empire proud. Listen to Mr. McGilded. What a fine gentleman London has here. Hear that he donated £5,000 to the government the other day? Mother, please, may we go ahead and play in McGilded Park?
It seems as though everyone in the public gallery is firmly behind Mr. McGilded.
The game is fully exposed at every fucking turn. I mean, Japan's got its own problems in this era, but yeah, pretty much. That's definitely welcome news. And he certainly has a way with words. I'm surprised he couldn't convince anyone to defend him. It's just because this fucking vampire will eat you if you do.
Yeah, no one wants to be, like, have their blood drained by this man. Eloquently put, Mr. McGilded, and most laudable sentiments. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm sure I need hardly remind you that you 6 members of the public have been selected for your impartiality. Are you ready to proceed? I didn't realize they were the jurors.
Can we talk about this jury? You got this old lady, this man with
He
a
looks like
horseshoe
a Monopoly
on
man.
his face. Yes, my lord. If the task is to send wolves to the gallows where they belong, I'm more than ready.
At the manor, his lordship always says we should dispose of rubbish promptly. Naturally, I agree.
This character stands out so much because this is just what a Japanese idea of a maid looks like.
Yes, yes.
Any criminals here will soon be wishing they never set eyes on me. Wow, it sure is the 20th century. We'll feel the chill.
Oh, don't mind me, my dears. I'll just be getting on with my knitting. Must finish these mitts for my grandson. Ah, Mr. Naruto, these people are...
The jury, yes. That's something we don't have in Japan yet. Don't worry, you'll never get one. Speaking from the Ace Attorney games, you will never get a jury.
That's right. I've only ever read about it. But here in Great Britain, the court's final verdict depends on the opinions of these 6 jurors. The judge passes sentence according to the law, but the jurors determine guilt based on common sense. So the defendant is ultimately judged from 2 completely different points of view.
How exactly do the jurors give their verdict?
That I don't know, but I'm sure it will become clear as the trial progresses.
Prosecutor Van Zieks?
My lord.
It's been a number of years since we've seen you here in the courtroom. I thought you'd renounced your fame.
I'm known as the Reaper of the Baby, my lord. Infamy rather than fame, I would say. But yes, 5 years have passed since I last spread my wings in this capacity.
So, what brings you back? Is there some change of circumstance in which the court should be aware?
I leave that to your imagination, my lord.
So the Reaper has been out of action for 5 years. Why did he have to choose today of all days to make a comeback?
Don't lose heart, Mr. Naruhodo.
As you wish, sir. The court nevertheless welcomes your return. Now then, opening statements, I think. A summary of the case, if you please.
Certainly, my lord. As your lordship is aware, this is a case of overwhelming simplicity.
We must be the only ones in here who aren't aware.
The incident took place in the late evening. 3 days passed. The hour was some minutes after 10. The victim was a maker of building bricks known in the community as Thrice Fired Mason.
Sorry? Thrice?
He was a very accomplished craftsman. The bricks he fired were said to be almost indestructible. When they said thrice fired, at first I thought like he was thrice fired from a job.
That's what I thought too.
But then I was like, oh yeah, he makes bricks.
The victim's corpse was discovered in an omnibus in service on the streets of London at the time.
Are we gonna learn that he was just stabbed by one of the jurors?
The guy with the knife?
A dagger that had been thrust into the victim's abdomen is believed to be the ultimate cause of death. Here is the autopsy report from the investigating medical officer at Scotland Yard.
Thank you, Consul. I shall accept that and the photograph as evidence.
Ooh, an autopsy report. Ooh, a photograph.
And one further item of evidence. The prosecution wishes to submit these as well.
And these are... Good Lord! Is that blood, Consul?
Yes, my lord. Seized by a policeman who arrived at the scene. These gore-soaked gloves were taken from the hands of the accused when he was arrested.
What?
The vampire would know about blood.
Mr. McGilded's gloves had blood on them.
Mr. McGilded, you said there's a you
said you were guilty.
Yes, I will accept these as evidence as well.
How did I get into this? I'm backed into a corner before I've even started.
Continuing. According to the driver of the omnibus, there were only 2 passengers traveling inside his vehicle at the time.
Only 2?
Obviously, one of those passengers was the deceased brickmaker, Mr. Mason. The other...
I can barely resist the urge to consume those gloves.
Nom 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 nom. Mr. Baron von Zieks, are you suckling upon the gloves? I require sustenance. Was the accused Magnus McGilded?
Well, rather damning circumstances, to say the least. Defendant, what say you?
Well, of course I have no recollection of such a thing. Mr. McGilded! To be sure, I rode the omnibus that evening. But whenever I'm in a carriage, I take with a fierce tiredness and always succumb to it.
Are you claiming to have been asleep?
'Tis the motion of the carriage, my lord. Lilting so it is. And when I open my eyes again... Oh, we're lilting Scottish again. 'Tis a desperate sight before me. Nope, we went further Scottish. The body of a man I'd never laid... The body of a man I'd never laid eyes on before in my life. Nah, excuse, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about me gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand. So the blood got onto the gloves then, after the man had been killed.
Unfortunately, that statement of the driver's is only the beginning.
What? That's not all of it?
There were multiple witnesses to the precise moment at which the brickmaker was fatally stabbed.
Order!
When the killing took place, only the victim and the accused were inside the carriage, and there were witnesses to the crime. This is not just a case of compelling evidence. It's the nail in the coffin for the accused.
Thank you, counsel. The circumstances of the crime have been made quite clear. I think we will hear testimony from these witnesses first of all.
Your wish is my command.
Oh!
Bailiff, bring the witnesses in at once.
Oh!
Oh my god.
Witnesses, your names and occupations.
My name is, well, everyone calls me Beppo. I drive an omnibus in the East End.
Bruce Fairplay. I'm a bank on the sea.
My name's First. Lady First. I, make hats for jets.
Lady first.
Let's begin by confirming the facts. 3 days ago, at a short time after 10 o'clock in the evening, all of you present in the stand were in an omnibus and witness to the aforementioned incident. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Quite right.
Yes, sir. That's right, sir.
Very well, then. Let's proceed to your formal testimonies, please. Each of you will tell the court precisely what you saw.
Witness testimony.
It was the last bus of the evening, so I had a few customers. I remember it well.
The victim and the man accused of killing him were sitting next to each other inside the bus. Then, out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right into his guts.
That's right. He stabbed him. I screamed, I did. Couldn't help it. As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my bus. And then I saw it too. Unambiguous testimony, I must say.
Exactly, my lord. These men witnessed the incident in the omnibus with their own eyes.
I'd like to ask a question, if I may.
Yes, counsel.
Well, this testimony makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever.
Why not?
Well, the incident took place inside a moving carriage, didn't it?
As has been clearly stated from the outset, yes.
Well, in that case, how could those two witnesses possibly have seen what happened? There's no way they could have seen the inside of the moving carriage.
Oh no!
How quaint.
Oh!
I'd read that civilization in the Eastern Island nations was a good century behind our own. But you're here in London yourself. Are you really so ignorant about our omnibuses?
He just got here today!
Huh?
Tell me, my Nipponi's friend, have you even traveled in an omnibus?
I cannot believe he unironically says Nipponese.
Well, no. We, only arrived in London this morning.
You.
No matter. I've arranged for us all to see for ourselves the actual scene of the crime, that is.
What do you mean? The actual scene? How?
The carriage is designed to be moved, after all. Presumably you understand that much.
Yes.
The omnibus in which this bloody crime took place is here today. In this very building.
Here? What? The entire carriage?
Bailiff, bring forth the stricken omnibus.
Drive it right in. In the middle. Everyone can see. Oh! It's in the middle!
There it is. So that's an omnibus. The omnibus. Oops. I can't believe they could bring something so enormous in here. Oof. Great Britain's courtrooms are amazing. Those doors are so big.
As you can see, the omnibus is pulled by 2 horses and can carry up to 8 passengers.
Yeah, do we get the
do,
investigation during the trial?
4 passengers seated inside in the enclosed cabin, and another 4 on the rooftop deck above. Every Londoner knows that the best views of the city's architecture and sights are to be had from the top of an omnibus. And I should point out to our foreign guests that there is a skylight in the roof, allowing a view of the interior from the seats above.
Oh, a skylight. Ow!
Yeah.
The penny drops at last, I see. These 2 gentlemen were occupying the rooftop seats on this
like that one.
omnibus where the murder took place.
He designs hats.
I love him.
Not very well.
That is how they came to witness the grim incident. Through the skylight.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. Oh, it sucks.
Well, Counsel, this is a first. In all my years behind the bench, I've never experienced the crime scene itself being brought into the courtroom.
There are a number of important clues remaining inside the carriage, my lord. I would like to submit the omnibus itself as evidence.
You might as well.
That is the prosecution's wish.
Very well. I see no reason why not. This omnibus here is hereby formally accepted as evidence.
Sure is an entire omnibus. I can't believe it. The entire crime scene entered as evidence? I didn't know you could do that.
Yes, Great Britain is simply extraordinary.
I could help myself a lot by giving that omnibus a thorough examination, seeing as it's here.
Let us continue with proceedings, then. Your cross-examination, Counsel.
Pray don't expect this Newfoundland stray to understand the intricacies of a British court's cross-examination rights.
Show him.
All right. My first cross-examination in a British court. Focus, Ryunosuke. Focus. Don't let this man just say racist things at you and get away with it.
So racist. So racist. It wasn't the last bus of the evening, so I had few customers. I remember it well.
Armband. I inherited from Kazuma. It identifies the wearer as a defense lawyer throughout the Empire of Japan. Wow, these are the scales of justice. They're a symbol of the defense, aren't they?
Yes, that's right. The scales are a symbol of fairness, to show that all are treated equally in the eyes of the law. And they're a warning to those who enter the courtroom without an impartial mind.
But if they're the mark of the defense, it would be more auspicious if they were weighing more heavily on the not guilty side, I think.
Very impartial, I'm sure. Can't look inside little inscription. Oh! Him name.
Bro, it says his name.
Him name.
The lawyer's name is embroidered on the inside here. Look. Kazuma Asugi. This was his band, of course.
He had his heart set on the study tour in Great Britain.
I'm sure he would have found the truth he longed for here. But he lost his life before he even had the chance to see the place.
I have such a strong sense of his hopes and dreams when I look at this armband, though. Yamped.
Thrice-fired mason, 54, brickmaker, cause of death, 10 to 11 p.m., 15th February, stabbed once in the abdomen with a knife whilst journeying in an omnibus. Died due to internal hemorrhaging resulting from the trauma. His knife.
Oh, one of his buttons is missing.
Oh, good point. Note that for later. Makes mental note.
That's blood.
This is definitely blood, isn't it? Not the most pleasant sight to be confronted with on our first day in London.
Well, nothing will come of grumbling now.
No. By the way, is Mr. McGilded right-handed?
Yes, I believe so. He was toying with a coin in his right hand a little earlier.
Huh. Pity. If only he'd been left-handed.
I think blood on either glove would be fairly incriminating, really. Woo! Woo!
That's see anything on these. Okay.
Let's go.
So this is the roof deck of the omnibus. Oh, you must have a wonderful view of London streets from up here.
So people sit all the way up here on bitter winter nights with the cold air rushing past them. And they have to pay money to do so?
I can't imagine how cold it must feel.
That, just made me think of something horrible. Can you imagine being dragged around the city in the freezing cold as a punishment?
Perhaps that is the real price you pay to stay out late.
It's the price you pay for living in London. The London tax. You can certainly see inside the carriage through this opening, that's for sure.
Yes, and there's a lamp in the enclosed cabin. So I'm sure the witnesses would have been able to see quite clearly.
That's not good for us.
Well, let's open the door and go inside, shall we?
Ugh, the scene of a murder. It's horrible.
Get in there. Ooh. Ooh.
Oh, a man certainly died here. That's blood that's soaked into the seat. The victims, obviously.
Yes, and that seat would be clearly visible from the roof deck.
Would you really stab somebody in full view of the other passengers like that? I wonder.
Well, it was after dark. And there was a lamp on in here, so perhaps the culprit couldn't see anything outside through the skylight.
Whichever way you look at it, it doesn't seem like it was a planned attack. Huh, that's a poster for the Great Exhibition that's due to start 6 months from now. There's a lot of focus being drawn to the Crystal Tower, the centerpiece of the whole exposition.
Ooh, the Crystal Tower. It's under construction already, I believe. People all over London must be fizzing with excitement at the prospect of such a grand event.
The seat has a handle, it seems.
Oh. Treasure.
Loot. This looks like all sorts of equipment that might be needed to keep the omnibus running.
Feeding tubs, tools to repair wheels, blankets, horseshoeing tools. So it's a storage compartment for the coachman to keep his things, it seems.
There doesn't seem to be any space for passengers to stow their luggage, that's for sure.
Well, I don't imagine it would be very convenient for that purpose anyway.
Quite a large skylight, isn't it?
Yes, quite large enough to afford a good view into the cabin from the roof deck.
And there doesn't appear to be a handle or catch of any description. So I suppose it can't be opened from inside the cabin at least.
Have you seen enough? Let's step back outside then.
Phoenix Wright Omnibus. Ah.
They did that. They really did it.
Oh my god, is that all the clues?
Baker Street.
What are you doing here?
What are you doing, Phoenix?
Huh.
Is Sherlock Sholmes underneath the carriage?
God, that'd be so funny. It's like, is that a guy down there? What's going Oh, it's Sherlock. Well, might be everything we can glean from that.
Okay. I think it's just the testament. Figure around and use scaling arcs next to each other instead of plus. Just stapled him.
Just absolutely stappled.
He stapled him, I screamed! Then I stopped the bus.
Hold it!
And then I saw this.
What exactly did you see?
Oh, well, that would be the passenger, sir. Yes. Collapsed on the floor, he was.
And by the passenger, obviously you are referring to the victim, Mr. Mason, the brickmaker.
And then the other passenger had that knife in his hand like this.
By the other passenger, obviously you are referring to the accused, Mr. Magnus McGilded.
And then he plunged it down like this, stabbing the other passenger in the belly.
What? My lord.
Door number 3. What's the meaning of this?
My mind is made up, my lord. Completely and utterly made up. Made up about what? I don't like the stinking rich. Never have. They're always just up to something or other that they shouldn't be. Every one of them.
Huh?
That little leprechaun of a man is no exception. Well, he can't fool me.
Whoa!
Bro! There's no point wasting time listening to any more of this. That's my opinion on the matter anyway.
That is precisely what I was about to say.
Wow, these two are pretty!
As the foreman of the jury, it's my duty to set a good example to my fellow jurors.
This is how British court works.
Bro. What the? What is happening here?
Let me see. Ah, yes. It seems that's how the members of the jury give their verdicts.
With fire?
Yeah, right.
Apparently, yes. White for innocent and black for guilty. As the 6 members of the jury make up their minds about the case, one by one, they each cast a ball of fire into the great scales of justice, as we saw a moment ago.
So if those enormous scales fall completely to the black side, does that mean...
Let's do our very best to make sure that doesn't happen.
Oh, now I'm even more worried than I was before.
Very well, the court acknowledges the change in the jury's stance. Counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination.
Oh, this is a nightmare. Alright, so when it happened, there were only 2 people in the enclosed cabin area with the victim and the defendant. And, so help me, 3 whole people witnessed the man I'm trying to defend do the deed. Shooting fireballs is an essential part of British legal education. Yeah, I mean, that you go to school and you learn how to shoot fireballs.
I don't like to be pessimistic, but we do seem to be in a rather difficult situation here.
Ugh. What am I supposed to think here? Is Mr. McGilded really innocent? Or could it be...
But before we jump to conclusions, our first task should be to gather information. We need to understand the case much better than we do at the moment.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Let's listen to those witness statements again. A little more carefully this time. Let's grab a little Saberino.
Boop boop.
Hold it!
Yes, I think it was sometime after 10, wasn't it?
Oh yes, sir. That's right, sir. Yes, ever so cold. It was freezing, in fact.
And you had 4 passengers on board at the time, is that correct?
Yes, that's right, sir. Not all traveling in the same parts of the bus, of course, though, I know. And there were no other passengers when the incident took place. No one alighted, for example. You're quite right with that, sir. No other passengers like that, no.
Can we get this man a blanket?
He needs help.
So, nobody fled the scene of the crime then.
I have to say, the boss insists on it running. He does every evening, the last bus of the day. Oh! But I do wonder sometimes if it's altogether worthwhile. Yes, sorry to say.
What do you mean by that?
Well, what with it being so cold and everything, and only making 20 pence on the run, yes, you see?
This poor old man.
It's not worth it, man. Yes, I spend that much at the pub on the way home just trying to warm up again. Oh, he's cold.
Poor old man.
Hold it!
And you saw them through the skylight on the roof of the carriage?
That's right. You sit up on the top deck. Windows right there at your feet. There's a lamp on the inside, so I had a pretty good view. Two of them were wearing hats. I couldn't exactly make out the faces. There's not a shred of doubt in my mind that it was Mr. McGilded.
How can you be so sure?
How can I put it politely? Gilded is a gentleman of rather small stature. I couldn't have mistaken him for anyone else. Let's not forget that when the vehicle came to a halt, the only people inside the enclosed cabin were the deceased Mr. Mason and Mr. McGilded. There is no room for doubt here.
I really wish there was.
Hold it!
You actually saw the moment it happened?
Then how will they testify to that? Well, fair dinkum hard-working city bankers not considered trustworthy these days.
Oh, no, I didn't mean that. Yeah, this is no good. I've really got his back up. Perhaps you could just tell us what you saw in a little more detail if that's...
My lord, if you'll forgive the interruption. Ah, juror number 2. Go on. Mr. McGilded is a pillar of society and a gentleman a gentleman's word should be sacrosanct. However...
Oh, come on!
Those of us in service know we must accept hard truths.
Wait! What are you about to do?
Dispose of the rubbish.
Oh, Jiminy!
So now, just
no!
hope for a tie.
I don't wish to cause offense, but I do like to eradicate all traces of filth and grime. I have painstakingly typed every word uttered here today and cross-referenced all the facts. As such, I am now in a position to draw the only logical conclusion. Well, I mean, why bother having the trial, right?
Oh, not again!
If it's like does it have to be unanimous?
I have no idea.
Because we already lost the majority.
I mean, there's still the judges, like, ruling, to be fair.
That's 4 out of 6 jury members who have proposed a guilty verdict.
Can they change their verdicts?
I mean, you gotta rip the fire out of the thing, probably.
There are only 2 left.
We've had it. Every time I press these witnesses for more information, I just make the situation worse!
Nevertheless, what we need more than anything at the moment is more information. We're still very much in the dark.
I like how this game is like, you wanted a jury? Here, have a jury. I suppose I'll just have to keep pressing the witnesses, knowing that more sparks may well.
We mustn't give up hope that we'll uncover something that will give us a way to fight back.
But all right, I'll keep trying. I can't give up. I just need to keep calm and listen to the witnesses' statements again. Hold it! He stabbed him, you say, and you were sitting up on the roof deck, were you?
Yes, that's right, sir. I was up on the roof seats. I remember seeing the little gent sitting next to the fellow that was stabbed. I'd been thinking about a new hat design, you see, so I was just gazing absent-mindedly around. But then I happened to look down through the skylight. It was sticking right out from his belly. That huge great knife.
A grim sight indeed.
Oh, that didn't help me at all. Well, the jury looked like they're even more convinced my client did it than they were before.
That appears to have made everyone even more dubious than Mr. McGilded is telling the truth.
Great.
We love that.
Love that for us.
If only we had some evidence to counter their suspicions.
Mr. First.
Oh, yes, sir?
Is this the knife you saw?
Oh, good grief. Yes, that's it. The very one, sir.
Is that?
Yes, Counsel. This is the blade that was driven the victim's belly like a stake through the heart.
All right, vampire, calm down.
Not that I would know anything about that.
That is a blade of considerable size, Counsel.
It is, and furthermore, the scabbard is emblazoned prominently with a certain initial. The letter M, which seems oddly familiar.
Oh, please no.
M for Magnus, perhaps, or McGilded, possibly. Take your pick. It seems this particular big name in London made a magnificent mistake.
Objection!
His objection is so polite.
Excuse me, objection.
But there are M's everywhere. Yes, like in Mason.
Objection!
Well, that's an objection.
Wow, that objection sign does not fit him at all. Objection! This blade is far too extravagant for a poor brickmaker to have owned. There's no way he sounds like that. He sounds like a fucking vampire.
This blade is far too extravagant for a poor brickmaker to have owned. No, this weapon of murder almost certainly belongs to the accused.
Ugh!
Not conclusive, but certainly compelling, counsel.
Murder weapon has been entered into the court record.
My lord, I wish to speak.
Yes, juror number 5. Do I take it that you too?
As the master of the London Guild of Coachmen, the idea of a murder being committed in one of the city's carriages is utterly abhorrent to me. It wouldn't be right to make a decision before hearing all the facts, so I said to myself.
But then?
But I've heard enough now. The horse has bolted, as they see.
No, please, just keep it open mind a little.
Gee up now, Silverblaze. The finish is in sight.
Alright. All down to Granny.
Beppo is a long-standing member of the guild. I trust what the man says.
Oh, thank you, sir. You're too kind, sir. Can we please just change my schedule so I don't have to run the last bus, sir?
This is too unkind, sir.
Which now means that 5 jurors agreed to condemn this man.
Granny's the holdout.
Granny!
She gotta finish her grandson's thing.
Granny's not even paying attention.
I know, right? It's like, I'm just trying to buy time until I finish this thing.
Madam Juror number 6.
I don't think you're allowed to directly appeal like that.
Yes, dear. Well, what can I do for you?
You have heard the testimonies of the witnesses in the stand?
Oh, yes, I certainly have. Still got my hearing, you know.
Then pray tell, why are you yet to pronounce your leaning?
Well, dear, the thing is, I'm a creature of habit, me. I always go to the park at around this time of day and sit on a nice bench and get on with my knitting. There's a lovely little park just near where I live. McGilded Park, it's called. The gentleman donated it to the city, you know, to put a smile on Londoners' faces, he said. I can't imagine such a fine young gentleman would have it in him to take another man's life.
He's always doing wonderful things for the city. That's right, a man like that wouldn't stab someone, surely. Mother, may we go to the McGilded Public Library later and maybe borrow some more books?
Child, I already promised to take you to the park. Why are you gonna go to the library too?
How many Londoners live with their heads in the clouds? Do you people not know? What kind of a man Magnus McGilded really is? What is a man but a miserable pile of secrets?
What kind of a man is he?
The philanthropist Magnus McGilded has enough wealth to purchase the entire city he claims to value so highly. But where did all that wealth come from? Your client is a Shylock, sir. Oh boy. The one with the very darkest of souls.
What?
Stone the crows.
Oh my god, we can't get away with just racism. We have to bring anti-Semitism into it.
Oh.
McGilded lends money at extortionate rates of interest, so his victims have no hope of repaying him. When they default, he takes possession of everything they own. He is a vulture that preys on the weak.
I've never heard any mention of that before.
Your faculties haven't deserted you, I'm sure, madame. So, has this thought not crossed your mind? Would a man wealthy enough to buy London in its entirety not have a carriage of his own? What possible reason could this man have had to make use of a public omnibus service?
You're not saying that.
The victim, a poor brickmaker, had next to nothing to his name, save considerable financial liability. It will come as no surprise that his creditor was the accused, Magnus McGilded. But let it also be known that the very day Mr. Mason was killed was the final repayment date for his debts.
Good gracious.
The brickmaker was destitute. He had lost his house. He had not a shilling with which to repay his debts. And in the end, this pitiful soul had the very last thing he owned taken from him, his life. By the merciless philanthropist pretender, Magnus McGilded.
I mean, you can't trust the rich. Oh, I don't believe it.
Ooh. Get in there, Susato.
Yeah, get in there.
If I might add something briefly,
Miss Susato.
you claimed that the victim had been lent money by Mr. McGilded. But where is the evidence to support your claim?
Oh, look at him go.
Bruh, that... Wine or blood?
Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hollowed chalice in a court
Blood
of
wine.
law.
Aha! There it is. Lord Von Zeke's hallowed chalice.
I like how the judge is like, yeah, baby. Woo, yeah, baby.
Dicka!
How can this be considered acceptable?
But I find myself in unexpectedly good humor. I had heard ladies from the Far East could show great courage, but I didn't expect to experience it myself.
Can you just put the racism down? Just put it down. Why do you have a Holy Grail?
As judicial assistant to the defense, I am simply doing my job.
Why do you have a holy grail? I think it's an unholy grail.
What a pity that your display of courage is in vain. This is the debtor's ledger, which details all monies loaned by the accused. You will find the victim's name clearly recorded inside.
Oh,
Allow me to present this ledger as evidence. And pray forgive the discourtesy of raising my chalice in a toast to the enigmatic East at the same time.
Jeez, this fucking guy.
How exotic the Nipponese katana!
If it's discourteous, then don't raise it! A marvelous toast, counsel. I will gladly accept this new evidence.
Jesus H. Christ.
Ah, yes, 20 guineas. The victim owed a considerable sum.
And the accused made quite certain he had ample recompense.
Oh, Granny!
Granny.
Let her slow down her knitting!
Granny. Wow, I've got a weird sense of deja vu there. Let's look at this ledger.
Boop.
This portfolio must contain all sorts of secrets of London's gentry.
Oh dear. Do you really think we ought to look inside?
Well, it's not as though we know any of London's gentry personally, is it? Apart from our great detective friend, perhaps. Actually, I wonder.
I assure you we will not find Mr. Sholmes's name inside.
Well, let's see what we find.
Enigmatic, really? We're hitting on all the notes in one vampire.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's crammed full of gentlemen's names, isn't it?
Well, I suppose they're probably not all gentlemen at all, are they? After all, not everyone in this country is well off.
Ah, goodness!
What is it?
Look at this. Do you see the name here?
Bruce Fairplay. Should that mean something to me? It does sound strangely familiar, actually.
Bruce Fairplay, the witness testifying at this very moment.
Oh, yes, of course, the banker. Why is his name in here? Oh, he borrowed 20 guineas, did he? Oh, and look, the repayment date is fast approaching.
It's possible that this is just a coincidence, of course, but this could be very useful information.
Don't worry, Granny. We'll save your knitting.
Well, it would seem I've had the wool pulled over my eyes.
Oh, Granny. Never mind.
Granny's ready for blood. Granny's
Yup.
like, death to the traitor. Regrettably.
We lost Granny.
Jesus Christ, this is fucking over.
Regrettably, madame, that is the modus operandi of the accused.
And it's such a pretty little park, too. What a scoundrel.
Oh, Granny, no!
Still. Maybe it's for the best.
Granny raising her fist here is so menacing.
Wait
Wait a minute. Let's just think about this before.
I don't stand for nonsense.
Oh my God, why? Oh, Granny, no! Oh God, it's going! It's fuck! Oh, Jesus Christ! Bro, that was it! That was the last juror's decision!
According to this encyclopedia of British law, when all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended, and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. That's what it says here.
The final verdict. It's over then.
Oh! There's a footnote, though.
Oh, thank God for footnotes. A footnote? Granny said fuck bankers? Honestly, spot on, Granny.
However, the defense...
All 6 members of the jury are now in agreement in this case.
Okay, let's take a little break here because we've been going for a while. I need to pee.
Okay.
Burp. Okay, I'm alive.
Pew, pew, pew.
Alright, are you ready to continue?
Yeah. Yeah.
Allow me to convey my respect for your swift and righteous decision.
According to the laws of this country, I will now conclude the trial by delivering my final verdict. I trust there are no objections.
Chocho.
Ryunosuke, say something!
Mrs. Sato, just tell me one thing.
Oh, yes?
You were in the middle of saying something before. The footnote in your Encyclopedia of British Law. However, the defense. What does it say next?
Oh, yes, of course. One moment.
Why did you put it away?
When all members of the jury have concluded the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended. Yes, you said this before. And the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. Then the footnote says, however, the defense has the right to demand a summation examination of the jurors at this point.
What? Summation examination? God, no. Ryunosuke, did you learn anything?
Objection!
I thought you guys knew this stuff already.
A summation examination? From which century has that tome you have there been resurrected? Judging from the binding, I would say that book is at least 50 years old. Any modern text on British law wouldn't even give such an antiquated procedure a mention.
How old is this man? This man is
not
32.
That man is 1,000 years old, and you can't
So
convince me
scary.
otherwise.
Beppo.
Beppo.
It's a relic, long forgotten, and certainly no longer practiced. I was there when that tome was written, and from whence it was buried. So you're out of luck.
Oh,
But you didn't write it out of the law. You didn't write it out of the law.
It's not practiced.
Shuffles band up. What even is it, Mrs. Sato? This so-called summation examination.
oh, one moment, and I'll read about it.
You would demand the right to a procedure before you even understand what it entails. Typical Nipponese.
The racism.
All right, Mr. Naruhodo, I think I understand. It seems that under this procedure, we would be able to appeal to the members of the jury.
To do what, exactly?
Appeal to them to change their leaning and reverse their decisions. And it says here that if successful, the proceedings of the trial must be resumed.
Make them reverse their decisions.
Yes, in times gone by, barristers would use a summation exam to attempt to influence the jury's decision.
I mean, it makes sense.
But that procedure became something of a formality with no practical benefit, really. So it rather fell out of use.
I wonder why.
Because it was devoid of purpose. Changing just one member of the jury's mind would be hard enough, let alone several. No self-respecting defense barrister would even assert his right to try in this day and age.
Still. I don't see any mention of the procedure actually being formally revoked. There you go,
Yeah,
Susanto.
that's
Get in
right.
there.
If you didn't want us to use it, you should have taken it out of your law book.
What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that although it may be antiquated and largely forgotten, it isn't yet extinct.
You tell him, Susato.
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
A summation examination. Our last possible option. Do we assert our right to carry it out or admit defeat? I mean, obviously. The defense wishes to assert its right to summation examination, my lord.
Objection!
My lord.
London is the capital city of the most powerful nation on earth. We have a duty to the world to exemplify the very highest standards of judicial procedure. Summation examinations are an embarrassment that should remain buried.
Objection!
But if it's alright, it's alright. I believe it could prove vital in this trial.
The defense's petition is perfectly valid. The court will proceed with the summation examination. Let's go!
Ooh, yeah, baby!
This is madness.
Foreman, are you and the remainder of the jury ready?
Oh boy.
Let's go!
Well, I'm not, just to mention this in the letter I received, you see, so...
All members of the jury will be asked to explain on what grounds they have reached their decision. Wait, this judge has a spine?
What grounds?
You must all justify your decisions and explain why you believe the defendant to be guilty.
Well, my lord, you'd rather putting us on the spot.
This is most irregular. No mention was made of this before.
You should be willing to defend your decisions, lady.
I don't really hold it with all this justifying that. It seems to have thrown the jurors off.
It seems none of them have experienced this before.
Huh, alright then. The summation examination. The defense procedure no practicing lawyer has attempted for years, is it? Well, just maybe. Good thing I'm not a practicing lawyer.
Huh.
Might be the opportunity we've been looking for to turn this trial around.
So be it then. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court hereby calls upon you to state the grounds on which you find the defendant, Magnus McGilded, guilty of this most serious crime.
Bum bum.
Well,
I don't like that he's short.
There was no one else inside the carriage at the time, so it has to have been him.
I trust the driver. He has an excellent memory, it seems. 4 passengers with fares totaling 20 pence.
Hey, stuck the chop next to him just like this. Brazen, I must say. Absolutely brazen.
I have simply typed and collated all the statements made thus far and drawn the logical conclusion.
You can trust the guild. Fair fares is our motto. Haven't raised prices above 4 pence for years.
Drill stabbing that poor man on the floor. It beggars belief. Oh, Granny's gonna be the hardest to convince now.
Oh my god.
She feels betrayed.
I'm starting to wish I hadn't pushed for this now.
Some of the jurors don't seem to have wonderfully formed arguments, though, do they?
Well, let's see what we can do. We need to get these 6 people to change their minds. I'll have to throw everything I can at them. And use some very persuasive language.
Just a moment, Mr. Naruhodo. According to my book, that's not quite how it works.
Oh, whoa. Oh? I thought I was gonna have to thaw their icy minds with some heartwarming rhetoric about the defendant.
Unfortunately. Once the jurors have decided the defendant is guilty, they're unlikely to heed anything the defense says.
But then...
They've reached their conclusions by their own reasoning, you see. Your pleas will sound like excuses. In fact, it could recoil on you. The more you try to persuade them, the more entrenched they may become.
Then what on earth am I supposed to do?
Oh dear, I'm just citing what I've read about British law, Mr. Naruhodo.
Right, I'm sorry. Do you have any idea how to make this work, then?
Well, from what I can understand, the key to this procedure is using the jurors' own words to make your arguments.
What do you mean?
Well, the members of the jury are randomly selected members of the public. They may appear to present a united front, but the truth is, they are complete strangers who just happen to find themselves here in the courtroom together.
And that's the way to break them down, you mean?
Yes, exactly. We must carefully listen to what each member of the jury says.
No price raises. No wonder the driver makes a little money. Yeah, it's basically the gig economy, but older.
And see if we can identify any contradictory statements. And if we can then contrast the statements and pit the corresponding jurors against each other.
I see. So it's contradictions in what two or more jurors say that we're looking for. In a way, then, this is similar to a regular cross-examination.
Yes, I suppose you're right.
Find contradictions in their statements and pit the jurors against one another to break them down. Alright, I might be able to pull this off. No, that's not right. I have to pull this off.
Can we start proceedings, counsel? I would ask you to take the stand for this. I'm expecting a clear and concise rebuttal. Boy.
Yes, my lord. This is such a funny way of doing this. Just like, all right, now turn the jurors against each other. Make them fight.
Wait, we haven't raised prices about 4 pence for years?
Wait a minute.
Yeah. Maiden man, Monopoly man, fight! Fight, fight, fight! I like this music.
It's funky. Nice. I like that it's all Susato just narrating Naruhodo's mind.
Uh-huh.
How did you know? Fares totaling 20 pence. Yep.
There it is.
Objection!
Those two statements clearly contradict each other.
They do? Explain yourself, Counsel. I don't know how to do basic math.
Me? Oh dear, what have I said?
I swear on Silver Blaze's main and name, I haven't had the first idea what you're talking about.
According to the group testimony we've heard so far, there were 4 passengers on the omnibus at the night in question. And according to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 20 pence in fares.
Quite right. I have those precise details typed neatly in front of me.
And juror number 5 also told us the following. The fare for the omnibus is always 4 pence.
That it is. A fair and convenient single price. Just the way London's carriages should be operated.
But that doesn't add up at all. In fact, it leaves a glaring discrepancy in the facts.
What, man? Why?
4 passengers paying 4 pence each. If you do the multiplication,
It would be 16 pence.
exactly. As I said, it doesn't add up. The figures are different. By 4 pence, in fact. Or precisely 1 person's fare.
Oh!
Dun dun.
One person's fare?
Yes, in other words, on the omnibus that night. It's distinctly possible there was another passenger we've heard nothing about.
Good gracious!
This can't be right. Coachman of the guild are good, honest men. One and all, trustworthiness is our watchword.
The figures your coachman claims most certainly do not add up. Your watchword, good sir, is a fallacy.
Fight! Fight! Fight!
I beg your pardon?
Yeah.
Mr. Guildmaster, I think you ought to consider that if this trial were to end now, the news will surely spread all over London. The news that one of your coachmen tried to hide the fact that he let nefarious characters ride his omnibus.
What then? How do I make it so this miserable trial doesn't end,
Well, according to my book here, you simply launch a ball of fire onto the innocent side of the set of stairs.
Held up horses there, coachman. We were all in agreement. Why do you have to go and... Wait till I get my hands on you, Beppo.
Beppo, no!
No, poor Beppo!
Oh, Beppo!
Beppo, no, wait!
Oh, this is all very irritating.
Begging your pardon, sir. I'm going to do the same.
Bonk. Why was this what they decided to do?
I know, right?
For the love of Mike,
dramatic.
aren't you as well?
A penny can be the difference between a smile and a tear, after all. I certainly can't put my trust in someone who doesn't follow my exacting standards in financial matters.
Oh, really?
I, for one, think it's only proper that we hear from the witnesses again. Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. You did it! If we can manage to change 2 more jurors' minds, we can force the trial to continue.
2 more? Actually. Wait, there is something else that's bothering me about a couple of their assertions.
Then that's where you must strike next.
So I need to pit 2 more jurors against each other and show there's another contradiction in their assertions.
Exactly. You can do it.
Yeah, simply launch a ball of fire. Everybody knows how to cast fireball here, right?
Well, the scales of justice have shifted, but they still weigh heavy on the side of guilt. Counsel, you have the floor again. Continue with your summation examination.
I'm changing my leaning to innocent. I should like to hear what the slipshod bookkeeper has to say for himself.
Oh,
Pep. Oh, sorry.
trial has to continue so I can get to the bottom of this corruption. Not guilty, I say.
Peppo. Granny gonna shank a fool with her knitting needle.
Oh, wait. Stabbing that poor man on the floor?
Oh! Yeah,
Yeah.
those two. Fight!
Fight! Those two statements are completely contradictory.
What? Explain, Council post-haste.
Oh, dearie me, I was only knitting a jumper for my other half.
What is all this claptrap? What does contradictory even mean, I ask you? We've heard from more than one witness that they allegedly saw the actual moment when the defendant stabbed the victim. Now, out of curiosity, juror number 3... Oh, can't you say I'm busy here?
Buddy, that's so dangerous.
How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim? What sort of motion was it? Ah, wanna test me, do you? It's like this! Stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up! Just like the prim banker said. So dangerous to, like, stab a knife in the direction of a person next to you. This man's gonna get tried for murder and everybody's gonna be like, he did it.
Yes, that was Mr. Fairplay's testimony. Quite true.
Now then, juror number 6.
Oh, is that me, is it? What can I do for you, young man?
How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim, madam?
Oh, well, dear, as far as I understand it. It was like this! Stabbed the poor man after he'd collapsed on the floor. The coachman said so.
Now don't move! Take a look at these two jurors. He stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up. And he stabbed the poor man after he collapsed on the floor.
Well, I never. They're stabbing in totally different directions.
What?
Bless my stitches! What a muddle!
What this tells us is that there's a strong possibility one of the witnesses isn't telling the truth.
Oh!
But why? How the dickens did they lie? I don't know that yet. But what I do know is that if the trial ends at this point, we may never find out. We may never know the real truth. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, can you really let that happen in all good conscience?
Lies, you say? Oh, dearie me.
Granny, this image.
I can't abide people telling lies.
Granny's so menacing. Granny's the scariest person on this jury.
The scales.
I don't believe it.
Like Cat from Saga.
Quiet. Now hear this, my fellow jurors. I warn you. You cannot listen to this man. Look at him in his black suit. He's clearly some devious Eastern sorcerer using magic on us all. If I could use magic, do you really think I'd be putting myself through all of this? Answer me this, Doc Jinx.
Oh!
What? Me? What exactly is the problem? What of it if two witnesses have slightly different recollections of events? What of it? Let's say Shylock did stab the victim as he was sat next to him on the omnibus, and this young dandy saw him do it. And now let's say the victim collapsed on the floor, and then Shylock stabbed him again, and this old lady saw him do it. Well, what's to say it didn't happen like that, Oh, you call that dandy, sir? Why, I should take this knife to you.
Don't threaten people like that in court.
Who are you calling old? Why, I should take this needle to you.
Oh, you pissed off the two wrong people.
Bro, juror number 1 needs to watch his back. He's gonna go outside and get shanked. Oh, they're ready to kill each other now. Oh, did I do that? Get the foreman of the jury be right? Also, can we talk about how the armband keeps like slipping down his arm and he like keeps shoving it back up? That means that Kazuma was just fucking jacked.
Yes.
He was just
Yes,
ripped
that's
as
what I
hell.
was thinking too.
Did two witnesses see two different moments of the same crime? No, it's out of the question. He was only stabbed once.
Yes. Correct.
Fortunately, Mr. Foreman. What is it, dog jinx? Come on, out with it.
You're a number, Dad.
What you're suggesting is impossible. It's out of the question. What are you talking about, man? How can you possibly say that? You do realize that I'm only doing my job. As foreman of the jury, I have a responsibility to steer everyone in the right direction. So, where's your evidence, man? That's what we want to see. I say the two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime. If you say that's out of the question, show me some proof. It looks like the only way I'm gonna convince him is to present him with something he can't dismiss. Some irrefutable, hard evidence. As you wish. What? I'll give you the proof. It's out of the question that the two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime, as proven by...
Take that! Take that!
Ah!
This is the victim's autopsy report. According to what's written here, Mr. Mason was stabbed in the abdomen. Only once. Only once? It's quite simple. The victim was stabbed precisely one time. Which means
Damn.
these witnesses can't possibly have seen it happen two different times. Ow! Ah! Alright, I can see defeat.
There you go.
Huh?
Ooh.
Wait, that means 4 jurors are now leaning to not guilty.
We've done it, Mr. Naruhodo. What?
What are you playing at, you dandy fool? Shut your trap, sir. No one deceives me. But we had a consensus. I said shut your trap. I know a liar when I see one, and if a chap ever dares to cross the threshold of my shop, I'll take this razor-sharp blade and shave every last hair off his head. Please tell me he's a barber.
Well, in a quite remarkable turn of events. The defense's summation examination has flipped the balance of the scales of justice.
He's absolutely a knife pervert, yes.
The jurors now stand at 2 for guilty and 4 for not guilty. Accordingly, there is no longer a large enough majority among the jury for me to adjudicate. And the trial must continue. I hereby ask the defense, prosecution, and witnesses to return to their places. And I call upon all of you to continue to pursue the truth.
Whew!
So, Lord Van Zieks, continue to substantiate the case for the prosecution, if you please.
He's going for glass too.
Oh!
Oh! Bro! Having savored the rich aroma of the carmine contents of this hallowed chalice, it may seem crass to crush its dust. Pray forgive the discourtesy. It's either cheap or he's really strong and very rich.
Lord Von Zeeks.
Is it cold in here or is it just me? Oh my god, did anybody else see that? Holy shit. I don't have to fight him, right?
As your antiquated tome no doubt says, the prosecution may not speak during a summation examination. So, I honored a deathly silence and listened to the charade.
Absolutely a vampire.
It seems I overestimated the intelligence of the jury.
Oh!
Well, no matter. There is nothing so hard to prove as a self-evident truth, it would seem. No, and why else would we grace the courtroom with our presence after all? So, let us proceed to the next round of battle.
Wow!
Bring forth the witnesses once more.
Bro, he decloaked. He's ready to Jedi
We're ready.
duel.
We're so ready.
Witnesses, I trust you heard the summation examination we have just had to endure.
He just becomes more of a fan. Oh, yeah, yes, sir. That I did, sir.
Of course I had it.
Oh, yes, sir. I heard it. You, sir, on the end, the coachman. I believe it's Beppo. Yes, sir, my lord, sir. If it transpires that in your previous testimony, you were attempting to veil the presence of a fifth passenger on your omnibus, you will be found guilty of perjury. You are advised to bear that in mind, sir. Oh, mio Dio. Wait.
I think it's Latin. I think Mio Dio can be.
Okay. Now then, witnesses, I hereby call on you to testify before the court again.
Shit, wait, maybe that was Italian. Maybe he is Italian.
Right, that's what. Okay. I was like, wait.
Beppo does sound like an Italian-ish name.
You will explain the various misgivings brought to our attention by the defense's summation examination.
He's just a poor immigrant coachman.
Oh.
Having to run the last coach of the day.
Oh.
You thought he was an Italian, but it was me, a stale meme.
I only carried 4 passengers that night. I swear, but
I, for one, was told I had to pay 5 pence for the bus.
He fiddles at us on the fare, he did. And then I saw that blood-curdling sight as well. It's all too much.
I tell you, so McGill to stop the man. Everything I said before stands.
Oh, yes, he stopped him. Yes, he did. I think so. Yeah, yes.
Oh, good gravy.
Counsel, make sense of this for me, please.
It was me, O-D-O.
The phantom fifth passenger conjured into existence by my learned Eastern friend never existed.
It's me, Dio!
The confusion has arisen from the coachman's sly little cousinage.
It's a mio, Dio.
Beppo, explain yourself.
Uh-oh.
I'm terribly sorry, Guildmaster.
Look at his anime ass eyes.
Oh, I love him.
The guild's fare is 4 pence across the board. You know that? Am I to understand that you've been overcharging your passengers by a penny a fare?
It's so cold, and then the last run of the day is always half empty.
I feel like you should charge more for the last run of the day.
Yeah, I think so too.
That should just be policy.
You have been dishonest, coachman. I'm sorry.
You're a disgrace, Beppo. A disgrace. And your selfish actions have brought dishonor to the entire guild.
If I may, sir, I had to pay 10 pence on the bus just last week.
What?
4 passengers at 5 pence each is, yes, 20 pence.
Bro, this guild is in shambles.
I've done the arithmetic 10 times already, but I just can't make the result come out differently.
No, that figures.
Why would a tradesman's superior be a juror in a case involving that tradesman as a witness? That's what I was wondering too. Well, it would appear that one of the aforementioned misgivings has already been explained.
I suspect they randomly pick from the public, and
Yeah.
they are not super picky about who comes. They're like, you might have some biases. It's fine, whatever. We're the British court. Who gives a shit?
So, counsel for the defense, your cross-examination, if you please.
We've already had the pleasure of a protracted summation examination today. I see you intend to continue the parlor games.
Hey, all right.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah. Woo!
Hold it! But what?
But what?
So, there were only 4 passengers on your carriage, but you didn't charge them the standard 4 pence fare. Is that right?
It's impossible to make the last run of the day pay. I was so cold. It was all I could do to stop myself from passing out.
He looks like he's about to pass out now.
I know.
I'm getting chilblains just listening to him.
It was terrible. So I wanted to give myself a pat on the back for even keeping the bus running. Doesn't a dedicated coachman deserve an extra penny per passenger?
You're digging a deeper hole for yourself here. If only there'd been a 5th passenger on the omnibus that night. Then we would have had another suspect. Hold it! Does that mean everyone on board that night paid 5 pence instead of 4?
Well, I paid 5 pence too, sir.
I just told you that I did.
Flat fare, 5 pence across the board.
It's not something to be proud of.
The so-called discrepancy my learned friend identified was nothing of the sort. Much like the phantom killer you so desperately needed, it's gone, dead and buried.
I'd have been happy if it had ever existed in the first place. Hold it! This blood-curdling sight. You mean the murder, I presume?
Yes, sir.
A loathsome sight. No one should have to witness the horror in the eyes of a man the moment his life is taken. Oh, well, no, not exactly, sir. I mean, I didn't actually see the exact moment the gent was stabbed. Good gracious, really?
We have another witness who did, however. The banker has already testified to it. But Mr. First didn't actually see the point at which the victim was killed. That may turn out to be very significant.
I heard the banker gent next to me take a sharp intake of breath. See, that's when I looked through the glass. That's when I saw that horrible blade poking out from his belly, all covered in blood.
He kind of looks like Mr. Satan from Dragon Ball.
The Great Hercule!
I see a knife now. I can't help screaming, even when I'm eating.
Hold it! So, you saw the defendant, Mr. McGilded, stabbing the victim, Mr. Mason, who was sitting next to him. It's what I said, innit? What was bothering me before this was... For just a brief moment, he hesitated before answering the question. Anyway, it's only the two of them inside the carriage, wasn't there? There's been much talk of a fifth passenger, but as yet, zero evidence. What are we wasting all this time for, eh? It's black and white. Man's guilty. Something about Mr. Fairplay's testimony just jars with me. I wish I could work out what it was. Oh, we have to examine this.
Ooh. That part is the sheath, isn't it? Are you all right, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh, sorry, yes. I just don't really like blades.
Oh, but you have one on your hip. Those don't seem like the words of a man with a large katana slung from his waist.
That's not a blade, that's Kazuma's soul. That's my boyfriend. Anyway, there's no sense in delaying it. Let's see what the blade looks like.
M. Or W.
An ornate letter M. Undeniably, Mr. Magnus McGilda's initial.
And it's
Yeah, it could be
beautifully
a W.
gilded too.
Right.
It must be very valuable, I should think.
Huh.
What is it?
Look at this M. If you turn it upside down, it becomes a W. This could change everything.
A W?
Yeah. This is one of those, turnabout cases. I'm sure of it.
I'm afraid I don't know it all. But what I am sure of is that this is an M.
Oh. That idea was quickly quashed.
Hey.
Wow. Get destroyed. Oh, that looks like a lot of blood.
It surely is blood. The victim's.
Ugh, an Englishman's blood looks a lot like a Japanese man's blood.
Did you think it wouldn't?
Sorry, it's just that we've only just arrived here in Great Britain. I'm finding it a little hard to adjust.
Yes, I do understand.
We all bleed red, Ryunosuke. I don't think there's anything else to look at on this. Is there? Not really. earlier you testified that you saw the moment when the defendant allegedly stabbed the victim, didn't you?
Oh, yes. Yeah, yes, that's right.
You said that the victim was on the floor and described the assailant holding a knife in an ice pick grip.
I suppose I might have, yes, put the cart before the horse, maybe? What's this? Well, I'm quite sure about most of it. I was driving the horses when I heard a scream from the seats on the roof deck. Oh, I expect that was me, sir. Then when I turned around, yes, I saw it through the skylight. The gentleman was on the floor, and the knife was sticking up out of his midriff.
Wait, that's a weird statement.
That's right, yes, and the fellow holding the handle was the famous man, yes.
So, in short, you didn't see the moment when the victim was actually stabbed at all.
I really thought that I did, but when I go over it again in my head, no, I suppose I didn't actually see the precise moment of the stabbing, did I? My God, my man is having a moment.
Bro, I didn't even know you could do that with a cane.
Yeah, I didn't even know he had a cane.
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
Do you have something to say about that, Mr. Fairplay?
Now you listen to me. I know what you're thinking. You didn't really see the exact moment the fellow was stabbed. What are the chances of that?
Hey? Are you asking me or telling me? He's getting flustered. I might be able to extract some new information from him if I answer him cleverly. Could he have just happened to see the exact moment the crime was committed? Some days are like that. Sometimes it used to be like that. Well, it is a little hard to believe, certainly. Unless you spend your time peeping through a skylight on the top of an omnibus, that is.
Maybe. I'm a respectable city banker, I'll have you know. I know what I saw. I remember as clearly as a ballad that day. It's a grim scene. I don't want telling you.
Thank you, Mr. Fairplay.
Oh, excuse me if I was getting a little hot under the collar there, my lord.
I would ask you to supplement your testimony with a clear statement about what exactly you saw.
Oh, I can do that all right. I'll tell you just how grim it was. Think I'd forget the sight of those blood-soaked hands after that butcher stabbed the man.
Blood-soaked hands?
Blood-soaked hands, you say?
Maybe some gloves?
Objection!
Blood-soaked hands?
Well, I meant that soap might be laying it on a little thick, but... Well, anyway, definitely blood all over them. Both of them were covered in it.
Oh!
Wow, I'm very sorry to disagree, Mr. Fairplay, but that's more than a little peculiar.
What?
Here are the gloves worn by the defendant, Mr. McGilded, on the night in question.
Oh, yes, right.
And there certainly does appear to be a sizable dark-colored stain there. But, as I'm sure you can clearly see, it's only on the right-hand glove. In short, Mr. Fairplay, your testimony is inconsistent.
But no, that can't be right.
Oh my God, Granny's going out.
So you're the liar here, then?
Bro, watch your back in the streets. Granny's coming for you.
Oh God.
You were quite clear about it. You said it was both hands.
Oh my God, dude.
Dude, this thing's gonna
Ain't
snap.
all right.
gonna take all his teeth out.
Oh my god.
Mr. Fairplay, if your last statement was a lie, it calls your entire testimony into question. You say you saw the moment the victim was stabbed, but is that really the truth?
Well,
No, don't stop! Stop putting your cane in your mouth.
it was a simple mistake. You can't justify accusing this man of lying. Yes, it wasn't both hands. It was only one, but the fact remains. The victim's blood was on the accused.
This man is so dramatic. This man poses like he's fucking Dio. No, Mr. Fairplay categorically stated that he saw blood all over both hands, which means there's a strong possibility that this witness was deliberately trying to mislead the court.
What? I'm a city banker, for pity's sake. My word should be the gold standard. I'm a gentleman, not a goddess, no. Upstanding members of society don't prevaricate.
He's claiming to have no reason to lie. But is that really the case?
Mr. Naruhodo, if we had some evidence to explain why Mr. Fairplay might be lying, it would turn the tide in this trial completely.
Something to show this man has a compelling reason to lie in his testimony. Oh, of course we have that.
Yeah.
My lord,
Yes, counsel?
the defense is ready to present evidence.
By Jove, are you sure?
Yes, evidence that will clearly demonstrate why Mr. Fairplay had a reason to lie in his testimony.
Stop!
Oh, my hamster. Deep in my soul, I know it to be true.
Very well. I hereby call on the defense to present its evidence. The evidence that demonstrates a motive for the witness's alleged deception of the court.
Take that!
This is a list of the debtors who owe money to Mr. McGilded.
Yes, a list of innocent victims crippled by the accused's extortion.
The point is, among the names of these debtors is your name, Mr. Bruce Fairplay.
What? Mr. Fairplay, are you currently indebted financially to the accused?
Oh, no. Well, it's barely worth him being called a debt.
According to this ledger, you owe 20 guineas, not an inconsiderable sum of money, wouldn't you say?
Well, what of it?
Now, let's suppose Mr. McGilded were to be found guilty of murder. What would become of your debt in that case?
These documents state that the loan agreement is forged between two individual parties. Therefore, were the creditor, the defendant here, to be sentenced to a capital punishment, all outstanding debts which were owed to him would be annulled. They would cease to exist.
Cease to exist?
Mr. Fairplay? Is it not the case that you claimed in your testimony to have seen something you never in fact saw? In a devious attempt to annul your debt of 20 guineas to the defendant? Man's poor fucking teeth.
Order! 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 Mr. Bruce Fairplay!
Yes, my lord.
Let me ask you again. And be aware that your answer may have most serious implications upon your future, sir.
Oh.
Did you or did you not see the precise moment in time at which the defendant is alleged to have thrust a knife into the victim?
Your silence speaks volumes. You did not tell the truth in your testimony.
All right. Now let's not make a melodrama out of this. Perhaps I did overstate the truth in a pinch.
A pinch?
it makes no difference. I definitely remember seeing blood on McGilda's hands. Both of them.
Objection!
And yet, only one of the defendant's gloves, which we have here as evidence, is stained.
So you keep saying?
I wonder if I might be allowed to speak. Huh?
Go ahead, Mr. First.
Well, the thing is, I think I remember seeing it myself as it happens.
Seeing what?
The blood, sir, on the assailant's hands. I think, yes. I'm almost sure that it was on both of his hands, not just one.
What? What?
Ah!
It would appear that we're going to need further testimony from all you witnesses. This time, I would like to know precisely what you did and what you did not see. Do I make myself perfectly clear?
Yes.
Mr. Naruhodo. This is good news. The course of the trial seems to have shifted slightly at last.
Yes. I might finally have a chance to turn things around here. Oh, good Lord Jesus.
There was blood on both hands of the assailant. I sincerely and distinctly remember that. However, I suppose you might say I didn't see the exact moment the stabbing transpired, if that matters.
I remember seeing the knife, and I remember seeing both of the attacker's hands with blood on them. I didn't actually see anything myself, no, not until I heard that scream.
Anyway, fact remains, can't have been anyone else inside the carriage, but we all want to see it.
Well, lo and behold. In truth of fact, not one of you was witness to the crucial moment the crime was perpetrated.
I apologize, my lord, but honestly, there was no one else inside that carriage, and the man's hands were covered in blood. That much incriminating evidence is tantamount to saying we saw the man do it.
That's really not what testimony is about.
Let us examine the interior of the omnibus once more. The victim's fresh blood is clearly visible on the seat, corroborating the witness's accounts. In other words, there is no substantial nor significant change in the facts of the case.
Very well. Your cross-examination, please, counsel.
Yes, my lord. Bonk. Okay, I'm gonna drop a save here, and I think we're gonna end the stream here. I'm very tired.
This is a long trial.
Yeah. We also just got a little bit of a late start, and we've been
That's
kind
true.
of we've been going all day. So, yes, we are going to end for today, and we will see you next week, same time.
Oh, I won't be in town.
Oh, you won't be in town? Okay. Well, 2 weeks from now, we'll do
2 weeks
this.
from now.
2 weeks from now, we'll be back. Thanks for coming to stream.
Yay! Thanks for coming out, guys. It was fun.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Good night. Good night from Mio Dio.
Yo, yo.